morning, everyone. This is Deirdre Finn, the new Executive Director. I just wanted to say good morning and excited about the session ahead and with working with all of you.
Welcome. Thank you, Deirdre. We did want to give you that opportunity to say hello to everybody. I wasn't sure if John was ready to start, but thank you for kicking it off. And we'll just give us a few more minutes here, maybe a minute, for additional members to join. And then, John, we're ready when you are.
All right, I'm just swapping over to to my iPad. I just was in the car, so.
Thank you. Gotcha.
If you just give me 1 second, I'd appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you.
But of course, as usual, technology's never gonna work the way I need it to.
Thankfully for the first call this morning, I haven't figured out I've just got a new computer and I haven't figured it out. So I'm on my own personal computer. So we're all having a little challenge here this morning.
Well, let's see.
We'll call it circling back, Jeff.
Well, never mind then. I'll just it's not cooperating, so I'll just do it from my phone here. So, all right. I'm not sure if good morning, everybody. Welcome. This probably won't last too long. There's a lot of bills are dropping. As you know, we're starting next Tuesday. The legislature will start in earnest for its 60 days. And bills are dropping pretty quickly and candidly so fast that we haven't even had time to adequately review all of them to make sure that there's not any issues of concern. But that said, a couple things that we know are out there. I don't know, Laura, if you want me to necessarily go in specific tracking request order, but we do have our bills of interest that we are proposing that I know I've covered on this call before. We got our 471 bill that we have sponsors both House and Senate that we're expecting the second week of session for that the House bill in particular to be heard. We're getting indications from staff. That's the one that increases some penalties for unlicensed activity. It establishes the loan assistance program for those that are in that are engineering graduates that work for state agencies. We also have our bill by Senator Martin and Representative Connerly that is design build contracts that extend the prohibition for forcing you all to indemnify, your indemnify the contractor or your design build person, similar to what we have for state agencies that they can't force you to in their contracts to indemnify them. We're extending that to all contracts across the board. So that's been filed as well. And so we got bill references, and so you'll be on the lookout because we'll want people when these bills get agended, hopefully sooner than later. We certainly would love some of you, if you're willing, to reach out to your legislators who are on the various committees and encourage them to vote for these bills as they move. So with that, I don't know if Derek in my office is on or not this morning, but there were 3 or 4 ed transportation bills that did drop. The agency bills have dropped, as well as some other bills that are ancillary. And at this point, I have not reviewed them in too much detail because they've just dropped in the last day or so. I talked to Sandra Buckley, who's our transportation chair. She may be on. She as well has looked at it just very briefly, but I think all involved are going to do a deep dive this weekend to make sure there's nothing of concern there. Derek, I see.
Yeah.
You're
so
on.
John, I'll jump in. There are a lot of transportation bills The ones I would tell the parties on here, the department's priority bills are sponsored by Representative Masulo, Senator Masulo, which is Senate Bill 1220. And then just last night, Representative Griffiths out of Bay County filed the House companion, which is 1233. So again, there's a lot of bills. There's even some bills that have a transportation title that doesn't even cover DOT. They actually cover highway safety and motor vehicles. But the department's bills are Senate Bill 1220 and House Bill 1233. I will tell you, I've looked at that bill. For the most part, it's reporting here, making some changes there. Nothing of major concern, I would say. In the initial read, I'm going to spend some more time reading it. There are at least one prohibition regarding local government as far as them blocking commercial property for drone deliveries. But short of that, the bill consists of talking about turnpikes down in tri-counties down in South Florida. It deals with the Southern Rail Commission, gives the department, deals with seaport, maritime, and things of that nature. So that is the department's bill. Again, it's Senate Bill 1220 and House Bill 1233. There are several other DOT bills. I think one of them is FTBA's bill. I have not spoken with the department to get their reaction to that bill, whether they are favorable to it or not. And so again, you have that bill, and then there's some other bills that are out there. So I think the FTBA bill is House Bill 543 and Senate Bill 1080. That's my guess. That's their bill. I know it's not the department's bill. And then there is a DOT contractor liability bill, which is House Bill 449 and Senate Bill 384. So again, those bills aren't the department's priority bill. It just impact the department, but their main bill is 1220 and 1233. Thanks, John.
And of note, Senator Masulo is former Representative Masulo, who just won special election and took Blaise Ngoglia's Senate seat over in the north of Pasco Crystal River area. And as you know, Blaise Ngoglia is now our current chief financial officer. And so he's now the transportation chair, and he's carrying the department's package. A couple other items that have dropped. We are monitoring a bill by Representative Alvarez that grants agent of the state, i.e. sovereign immunity to contractors. I think, again, we've mentioned it on this call before. We've been in contact with the FJA, which is Florida Justice Association, which is the trial lawyers, and they've indicated to me that this is their number one priority to kill. They vehemently oppose that, which we're okay with, because again, had the bill gotten traction, we would certainly want engineers to be included in that, so that the increased liability from contractors wouldn't shift to us. So I think that bill is going to have tough sledding. And then finally, another big issue that's on the plate for us is that we're watching, we're working with the DREG bill. That's the Taylor-Yarkowski bill from last year, now this year, which is seeking to deregulate and get rid of a number of professional boards under the Department of Business and Professional Regulation. And so as the bill sits right now, our FEMIC board, which is our privatized regulatory office, stays intact. And they do abolish the Board of Florida Professional Engineers, but that's 7 years from now. And so we were treated differently than everyone else, who their board, like architects and others, their boards go away immediately under this legislation. So if it were to get traction, we have 7 years to deal with this if it passed in its current form. I don't think it's going to pass in its current form. Certainly, Derek can certainly opine as well, because I know he's been following it. We don't expect it pass its current form, and to be clear, we're still working hard to just get ourselves out of the bill completely. So lot of football remains on that. So then I think between now and our next week's meeting, all bills will be filed. Uh, um, the deadline for filing legislation is, just before session begins, which is next Tuesday. So everything will drop by then. We'll have a good sense of what's moving, what's going to move, what's not going to move, and probably we'll have a better, we don't have a deep dive on these transportation bills other than a cursory review, which as of right now, nothing of significant concern has emerged, but stay tuned because that could change. And I just appreciate some of our members, Sandra and Scott and others that are in the transportation that take time to kind of partner with us and make sure that we're not missing anything by reviewing some of this legislation. So anything else, Derek, from your end?
John, if you wanted to talk about the governor's memos on special session, I mean, I know it's not directly related, but
Yeah,
just to know.
please. Yeah, jump on
I thought
that.
you wanted, okay, happy to. Yeah, so the governor has released a memo early this week for everyone to know. He's already called for a special session on congressional redistricting for the month of April. And so that's just for information. The members will be back in for that. There are speculations and rumors that he's probably calling another special session regarding property taxes. That has not been done yet, but Gary Fineout, a very credible reporter, put something on X saying that there was rumblings about that. And so there is anticipation that the governor may do a second one for property tax. It's important to remember whenever the governor convenes these guys for special session, they have to halt all campaigning and all fundraising while they're in an active session or gavelled in for active session. But he's already officially put the dates out for congressional redistricting. And just as a reminder, this is something that President Trump's been encouraging all the red states to do, is try to identify 1, 2, or 3 additional seats they can actually put in the majority. And so Florida's going to be doing that in April. Property tax reform at some point will probably end up being dealt with in special session. And then lastly on that, for property taxes, reminder, whatever they ultimately agree to goes directly to the ballot, does not go to the governor for signature, goes directly to the ballot. So that's important as well.
Thank you, Derek. And
Yes, sir.
Laura, Deirdre, one more issue that I will mention, because I view this as just, it's going to take oxygen out of the room, is the legislature and the governor in particular is going to be looking heavily at AI. So we're going to kind of monitor that separately. And what would be helpful for us to know, and you can, kind of shoot us an email, or Deirdre or Laura, me or Derek, whatever, or all of us. That's an area that we don't want to assume we know whether it affects you or not. So if there's some AI issues that you in your practice and in your businesses are utilizing, things that we need to be on the lookout. I mean, there's twofold. Some of it, of course, is designed, AI is designed around the privacy issues and children's access to it and all that, but they're also going to be looking at it as it relates to, corporate use, business use, and corporate privacy as well. So we're going to be keeping our eye on that. But if there's issues of AI that, again, we wouldn't know because we're not an engineer, just kind of alert us to that, things that we need to be on the lookout for. So anyhow, that's all on our end.
Do any of our members have questions about what John's discussed or any other bills of interest that you think that we need to add to the tracking list at this time?
Laura, this is Buckley here, and
Hey, Buckley.
Happy New Year, everyone. I don't know if it was Derek that mentioned it, but the property tax reform that is being initiated, I'm curious if we've assessed what kind of impact that would be to work programs for a lot of our municipal clients if that does take effect, or do we have a position there?
Buckley, I'll jump in first. I'm not sure what that impact will be. I will tell you that there's 8 bills that have been filed by the House. All 8 have moved at least through one committee. 4 of those 8 made it through 2 committees, and then one of those 8 made it all the way to the floor. The governor is on record strongly opposed to all 8 bills. And the Senate has no bills currently filed and have no intention of doing any bills. As they want to wait and see what the governor rolls out, if anything at all. You could imagine at almost every level, there's been comments at the podium from whether it's government, businesses, associations, things of that nature, of concerns, of questions in that regard. I don't know how much of I mean, each bill has its own staff analysis. I don't know how of a depth if agencies have actually done anything, because the governor has been so adamantly opposed to all 8 bills. My assumption is, but I haven't spoken to any of the agencies, that most of, if any agencies have done no work toward being helpful. But on the work plan itself, I'm not sure what that looks like. Again, when the governor being publicly opposed to the bill, it's really kind of been stagnant. It's really just been one chamber pushing it. But I'm happy to look into it.
Appreciate the update.
Absolutely.
Hey, Derek, this is Melissa. The Association of Counties is going to be meeting the same time as we are in Tallahassee. It might be worth a call to Davin over at FAC. I think he's been gathering that kind of local government
Correct.
impact, and I'm sure they
That's
have at
correct.
the League of Cities. And that might be useful to share with the members here.
Actually, I just talked to Davin yesterday on something else. I'll give him a call. We unfortunately are really good friends. That's a great advice, Melissa. I'll reach out to him.
Anyone else? Deirdre, John, anything to add? Okay.
Not right now.
Well, thank you, all of you, Derek, John, Deirdre, and John's team for your support in this first call. Again, as a reminder, these will take place every Friday from 10 to 10:30. If in the interim you encounter any issues that you think are important for us to consider, please email me and John and Deirdre, and we can be sure to review those and discuss them with Peter and the CLGR if they need to be something that rise to the occasion of adding to our tracking report. As a reminder too, PE Legislative Days is right around the corner. We look forward to seeing a lot of you in Tallahassee the week of Martin Luther King holiday. And we've got our visits to our legislators that Wednesday. And so if you have any questions about that, please feel free to email me. And again, these recordings will be available on our website either later today or early Monday, as will the bill reports. And you can register for email reminders for these meetings by going to the calendar and entering your registration information there. If there are no other questions, we thank you again for your time and interest, and we will see you next week.
Thank you all. Have a great
Thank
week.
you.
all. Thank you all.
Thanks.